In this video, I'm going to react to the US military's new AC130J GHOSTRIDER gunship. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now this should be fun. I think about 2 to 3 months ago, I first reacted to the AC130 gunship, and that plane looks absolutely menacing. You would not want to be an enemy and seeing that thing zipping towards you. I mean, the noise it makes when it's firing its gun is like a brrr. It's frightening. So to hear that, you know, there's an upgraded version of it. It's called the AC130J GHOSTRIDER. I mean, like, is there, like, when you hear the word Ghost Rider, when I hear that word, I think of that movie with Nicolas Cage, the one where his when he transforms, his skull turns into like a flaming skull. It's just really like badass. I mean, this plane has got to be something really special indeed. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to the US military's new AC130J GHOSTRIDER gunship. Let's do it.
I'm going to pause go one just to conserve ammo, pilot. Thank you.
America's new AC-130J GHOSTRIDER gunship is a beast.
The kickback on that thing just...
Here I go, 3 for 3. Position. Continue on 1.
Man.
Brace yourselves. The Air Force's newest gunship is officially on the prowl downrange. The AC-130J GHOSTRIDER's primary missions are close air support, air interdiction, and armed reconnaissance. Close air support missions include...
Man, that thing is huge. It's absolutely huge.
Troops in contact, convoy escort, and point air defense. Air interdiction missions are conducted against pre-planned targets or targets of opportunity and include strike coordination and reconnaissance and overwatch mission sets. The AC-130J provides ground forces and...
Wow, look at this thing here. Is this the ammunition? Like the feeding, like the ammunition feeder? I don't know what it is, but it looks like a snake, like a cobra.
Expeditionary direct fire platform that is persistent, ideally suited for urban operations, and delivers precision, low-yield munitions against ground targets. The AC-130J is the 5th-generation gunship, replacing the aging fleet of AC-130U and AC-130W gunships. AC-130 gunships have an extensive combat history dating back to Vietnam, where gunships destroyed more than 10,000 trucks and were credited with many life-saving close air support missions.
This is what I was talking about. Just listen to that sound. Hold on, let's go back.
Destroyed more than 10,000 trucks and were credited with many life-saving close air support missions. Over the past 4 decades, AC-130s have deployed constantly to hot spots throughout the world in support of special operations and conventional forces. In South America, Africa, Europe, and throughout the Middle East, gunships have significantly contributed to mission success. The U.S. Air Force's new AC-130J GHOSTRIDERs have been flying combat missions in Afghanistan since June 2019. The gunships took over from AC-130U Spooky that had been supporting the United States Coalition Special Operations Forces and their Afghan partners in that country. Those Spooky gunships have now returned to the United States, marking the last scheduled combat deployment ever for that version of the AC-130.
I wonder what the unit price is on this. If I had to guess, maybe like 200 million, something like that. Just based on the prices of the other, you know, US military aircraft.
Northwest Florida Daily News had been the first to report on June 28, 2019, that the AC-130J had flown its first ever combat mission in Afghanistan. This detail had emerged during a change of command ceremony at Hurlburt Field in Florida, during which U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General James Slife took charge of the Air Force Special Operations Command from Lieutenant General Brad Webb. The Ghost Rider's first combat sortie had taken place just days before, according to the story. We are pleased to announce the AC130J has deployed in support of combat operations overseas, U.S. Air Force Captain Kiwi Rake, an Air Force Special Operations Command spokesperson. The Air Force declared that the AC-130J had reached initial operational capability in late 2017 with the 73rd Special Operations Squadron at Hurlburt Field, becoming the first operational unit to fly the aircraft in 2018. The 73rd is the squadron presently flying the Ghost Riders over Afghanistan. AC-130Js had previously taken part in a number of exercises in the United States and abroad. The last AC-130J delivery is scheduled for the fiscal year 2024. We don't know.
So, like, I wonder, so 2024 and the first one was delivered in 2018. Like, I wonder how long does it take for one of these to be, like, from start to finish to be made? Like, because aircraft are such big, complicated machines, you know, the engines especially, so they can't be quick. I'd guess maybe 3 months, less. So if you've got 4 a year, over 6 years or 7 years, that's 28. So about 28, that sounds about right.
I don't know much about the 73rd's initial deployment with the Ghost Rider yet, but Air Force Special Operations Command's AC-130s most often fly at night, supporting Special Operations forces on the ground, either providing direct close air support or armed overwatch during their operations.
Those munitions
The
are
Ghost
huge.
Rider gunships are in high demand in the skies of Afghanistan, where they provide close air support and armed overwatch to U.S. and Afghan operations. AC-130J have already flown hundreds of sorties since beginning combat missions in June, said Colonel Terrence Taylor, commander of Combined Joint Special Operations Air.
Gosh, look at all those dials. Man, I wouldn't know where to begin. I mean, this is like 30 different dials, man.
Component Afghanistan. Every night the AC-130J is flying, the people they are supporting are requesting them every single night. This amounts to 218 sorties and 1,380 hours in the skies over Afghanistan, Taylor said. The deployment of the AC-130Js and the end of scheduled combat operations for the AC-130Us very much marks a shift in U.S. military's gunship operations as well. The Spooky gunships, which entered service in 1995, are the last of the Air Force's old-school AC-130 gunships with a 5-barrel 25mm GAU 12U Gatling cannon, a single-barrel 40mm Bofors cannon, and a 105mm howitzer as their only armament. These aircraft were a direct evolution of the original Vietnam War-era AC-130s. By all indications, the AC...
Gosh, look at this. Look at the size of this. Oh, this is absolutely massive. Imagine getting hit with one of those. It would turn you into vapor.
30Us are also the last platform of any kind in the U.S. military to use the 40mm Bofors gun, a World War II-era weapon, which proved to be a deadly aerial weapon, but also increasingly hard to operate and maintain. The Air Force had found itself scouring the world for spare parts in the early 2000s and rebuilding 40mm ammunition from the 1940s in recent years to keep the guns operational. The AC-130J is a very different beast, described by Air Force Special Operations Command officials as the ultimate battle plane and a bomb truck with guns on it. The Ghost Rider comes with the standard 105mm cannon and an additional 30mm GAU-23A autocannon and a suite of precision-guided munitions that include the GBU-39B small-diameter bombs, GBU-44B Viper Strike Glide Bomb, GBU-69 small glide munition, AGM-176 Griffin missile, and AGM-114 Hellfire missiles.
Damn, that is a lot of firepower. Whew.
The 30mm cannon in particular, almost like a sniper rifle, it's that precise, it can pretty much hit first shot first kill. Then 1st Special Operations Wing Commander Colonel Tom Polensky told U.S. Military News, adding that the Ghost Rider is going to be the most lethal, with the most loiter time, probably the most requested weapons system from ground forces in the history of warfare. The Ghost Riders have saved lives, says Chief Master Sergeant Edward Fry, enlisted leader alongside Taylor at the Air Component Command. Them hearing the sound of the gunship overhead that in many ways serves to embolden them, Fry said of Afghan forces who remain heavily reliant on U.S. air power. Even if the gunship doesn't fire one round, it still provides that utility.
Yeah, just knowing it's in the air, just knowing that, you know, it's looking around, looking for the enemy. It must just provide such huge reassurance, you know, just relief, really.
Precision-guided munitions capability has really added a new dimension to the gunship's capabilities, giving it more standoff reach and the ability to engage targets in multiple distinct areas simultaneously. With its 30mm and 105mm weapons, the Ghost Rider can also provide the same kind of extremely precise direct fire support as their predecessors. The AC130Js are also packed with a variety of updated sensors, data links, communication systems, and more, and the Air Force is already in the process of further updating those systems. The latest Block 30 Ghost Riders, which the 4th Special Operations Squadron began receiving in March, feature a number of improvements over the Block 20 aircraft that the 73rd Special Operations Squadron is flying in Afghanistan now. This includes upgraded sensor turrets with higher fidelity electro-optical and infrared full-motion video.
I love that. So this is the Ghost Rider thing, I think, or like the Ghost Rider insignia, because the flaming skull.
Cameras, and a new large broadband satellite communications hump on top of the forward fuselage. The Air Force is looking to improve the survivability of all of its remaining gunships against newly emerging threats, such as GPS jamming too. In 2018, U.S. Army General Raymond Thomas, then head of U.S. Special Operations Command, said that unspecified opponents, most likely Russian or Russian-backed forces, were using electronic warfare attacks against gunships operating over Syria.
Wow.
Entirely new capabilities might find their way onto the Ghost Riders as time goes on, too. Air Force Special Operations Command is planning to demonstrate a high-energy laser weapon on one of its AC-130Js in 2022. But with no more AC-130U deployments on the schedule and AC-130Js now flying combat missions, the Air Force has already entered a new era of gunship operations.
Here we go.
That'll put a big hole in something. A big hole. So is this a live mission right here?
Copy.
That is a big ass gun. It's a big boy. Man, you would not want to be on the wrong side of that plane. I mean, just when the narrator was reeling off the different weapons it has, you know, the various guns and missiles, and you know, it was just, I thought the list would never end. I counted at least like 8 different types. I mean, it's just so destructive. You know, obviously it's great. It's a great deterrent. You know, if you know one of those is in the area and you're, you know, an enemy or an opponent, it might make you think differently about your course of action. I mean, very, very impressive plane. You know, you just, yeah, you want to be on the right side of that plane, that's for sure. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, Keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.